No. Next step, what we're going to do here, seeing that we have the factors, we need to now determine which two number, when you multiply them, you're going to get a value of 12, but when you add them, you're going to get a value of -4. Now, let's experiment now. If you are adding two numbers, right? One is negative and one is positive. So let's say you are adding -6 and +2. What is going to be the result? A negative answer or a positive answer? If you are adding one negative number and one positive number together, and the negative value is larger than the positive one, what is going to be your result? A negative or a positive? Let me write it on the board. Look at
So
it.
you said if the negative is larger,
Yes, if the negative number is larger,
it's gonna stay a negative.
it's going to stay negative. What if your positive number is larger?
Well, that's just minusing, so positive.
It's going to stay positive. Good. So guys, pay attention now. If you have something looking like this, -102 plus let's say 20, your answer is going to stay negative because this 102 here has a negative one and it's larger. So it's going to keep the sign of the larger number. But if you have this, let's say you have 102 minus 20, right? This negative, this 20 here is negative. This is 102. So guess what? You are now going to have a positive value, right? You see that? So once the negative value is larger than the positive value, your result is going to be a negative when you're adding them. And if your positive value is larger than your negative value, then your result is going to be a positive. So the one that is larger gets the sign. No. Let's look at this now, right? Let's look at it now. We have our AC here, right? Our AC is 3 times 4, which is 12. Now, if we multiply 12 times 1, we're going to get 12, right? But if we add these two numbers, it's not going to be nowhere near 4. So we can just cross out this already. We not use that none at all. Let's look at 6 times 2, right? If we multiply 6 times 2, we're going to get 12. If we add 6 plus 2, we're going to get 8. But look at it now. It's somewhere close to this. But the thing is that in this case, we need to have a negative value. So we need to assign some negative towards this value. No, if we're adding two numbers and our answer is going to be a negative value, then the bigger number should have which sign?
A negative sign.
Negative.
Negative. And which is the bigger number in this one? Isn't it 6? So if we put a -6 there, right? -6 times 2 is going to give us what? -6 times 2. This should be -12 here, right? See it? 3 times -4, that should be -12, right? Now, -6 times 2. -6 times 2 is -12. -6 plus 2 is going to give us -4. Everybody see that? Okay. So look at it now. Our AC is -12. Why? This is a negative value, which is C. This is a positive value, which is A. 3 times -4, -12. All right? So then, we know that our two values are what? This. Our two values are -6 and +2. So we're going to replace them now. No. Let's experiment this now. So we have 3x squared here. We're going to write back our value. It's going to be 3x squared. We're going to put in our -6x here. We're going to also put in our +2 here, right? -4, and that is equal to 0. What we did here, This negative and this positive here, we replace it for 4. Negative x 6x plus 2x is going to give us 4x, negative 4x. So what we do, these two values here, replace it for this one value because we want to have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Hence, its name quadratic equations. All right? Now, let's go again now. We're going to factorize. What can we factor from this? Come on, let's go. What can we factor from that? All right, hold on. Francis, what can we factor from this? What's the highest common factor of this? 3x squared minus 6x. Hmm? Diksha, what's the highest common factor of 3x squared minus 6x?
Could you please repeat that, sir?
What's the highest common factor of 3x squared and the 6x? What's the highest number we can take out of these two values?
Oh, of 3x squared and 6x?
Yes.
Um, 3?
Just 3?
Um,
Don't both terms has x. Hmm? Don't these terms has x? So can't you take out a 3x and not only 3? Seen it?
yes, sir.
Good. We did HCF, you know, guys. We did highest common factor. If we take out a 3x from this, right? If we take out a 3x from this, what is going to leave is x minus 2. Because 3x times x, 3x squared. 3x times negative 2, negative 6x. All right? Now, what can we take out from this? What is our highest common factor here? Sanjana, what's our highest common factor of 2x and negative 4?
2.
Hmm?
2.
2. So if we take out a 2 here, what is left? Isn't it x minus 2?
Yes, sir.
Are you seeing that we have the 2 same thing inside the bracket here? So that means it is correct. All right? That means everything here is correct. So all we need to do now is to rewrite them. X minus 2 in the bracket and 3x. This should be a positive 2. So it's plus 2. Right? So these are our factors. But the question asks you to do what? Solve the equation. So we equate this to 0. And we're going to solve now. All right? Now, x minus 2 is equal to 0 and 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to positive 2. And in this case, if we bring over this 2 over here, so 3x is equal to negative 2. X is equal to negative 2 over 3 because you're going to divide by 3 here. And then we're going to cancel. Everybody see that? Everybody see that? Now let me go over one more time and then you can go ahead and do those questions. Let me go again. When we have a quadratic equation, everybody please pay attention now. Please pay attention. When we have a quadratic equation, the first thing that we do, we find the AC value. Let me show you something now. Here it is. Here's the form. AX squared plus BX plus C is equal to 0. That's the form of an equation. Therefore, this value A represents 3. The x squared represents x squared. The B represents -4. The x represents x, and the C represents -4, and the Z represents 0. Same thing, right? Now, after we do that, when we find the AC, which is 3 times -4, we're going to get a value of -12. Once you find the AC, then you're going to find the factors of the AC. The factors of the AC are 12, 1, -6, 2. Well, let's not put the -6 as here, because we don't know if it's negative or positive, right? Now, 12, 1, 6, 2, 4, 3. Those are the factors. Now, if we look at our B term, our AC states that when we multiply those two numbers, we get our AC. When we add them, we get our B term. Our B term is -4. That means if we're going to add any two number, the negative value should be larger than the positive value, because hence we're going to get a negative result. Now, if we look at this, right? If we put a negative here, -12 times +1, sorry, it's not going to give us -4. -6 plus 2 is going to give us -4. -4 plus 3 is not going to give us -4. So it must be this one. It must be the second one, which is -6 and 2. Then we're going to replace -6 and 2 for 4x here. So here it is, -6x plus 2x. Replace it for -4x. Then we're going to now find the GCF, the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor from 3x squared and -6x is 3x. That means if we pull out 3x out of that term, what is going to left? The remainder is called the quotient. So whatever is left inside the bracket here, that is what we need. That is what we need to be the factor. And once we find something in the bracket, that is the factor, it's supposed to be the same thing on the other side, which is the factor also. If we take out this GCF here, which is 3x, right? What is going to left is x minus 2. How we know that this is correct? We can check it. 3x times x is going to give us back 3x squared. 3x times -2 is going to give us -6x. So we know say that correct. We know say it right. Next thing, we go to the next term over here. So, right? 2x minus 4. What can we take out? Sanjana said we can take out 2. If we take out 2 here, what is left is going to be x minus 2. We can check it again. If we multiply 2 times x, we get 2x. If we multiply 2 times -2, we get -4. So it's correct, right? Now, if you observe this equation and realize that you're not having the same two things in the bracket, it's wrong. Stop. Start over. Something definitely is incorrect there. All right? Now, we have 3x here, bracket, x minus 2, close bracket, plus 2, x minus 2 is equal to 0. What we're going to do now is to group our terms now. The like terms here are x minus 2, x minus 2. So put that in one bracket. That's one factor. The next factor is everything that is outside of the bracket. What is outside of the bracket? 3x is outside of the bracket, plus 2 is outside of the bracket. So therefore, we have 3x plus 2 here is equal to 0. The instruction gave you to solve this equation. So therefore, when you're solving something, it has to be equating to 0 or something else. It doesn't matter. But solving something has to have an equal sign. All right? Now, when we have this now, this x plus minus 2 here is equating to 0. This 3x plus 2 here is also equating to 0. So therefore, x minus 2 is equal to 0. If we carry over this -2 over to the equal sign over here, so it becomes positive. So we're going to have x is equal to 2. Positive 2, that is. Let's go to the next one. 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. We bring over the 2, it becomes -2. So therefore, 3x is equal to -2. And if we want to find x, all we need to do is to divide the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x is what? 3. So we divide both sides by 3. Hence, the result is x is equal to -2/3. And that's it. Pretty much simple. So your two values now for x are x is equal to 2 and x is equal to -2/3. Everybody understanding? Everybody understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Big shot, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Francis, do you understand? Chin, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Boljin, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means we can work out the ones that is on the portal now. Blake, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Hardly, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Ariane, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Sanjana,
Yes, sir.
Abby,
Yes, sir.
Dimple.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I want to complete the questions on the portal. They are graded. You see the instructions, right? The instructions said show all working. So you should show all working. All right. Each question is a maximum of 3 marks. Let me tell you where you get the mark for now. You get the mark to find the proper AC. So say if your AC don't write, you lose 1 mark. Next thing, you get a next mark for factorizing. So if you don't factorize it properly, you lose a mark.
Wait, sir, do you mean that we should write the equation a squared minus b minus c equals 0? Are we supposed to write that to get a
What, this?
mark? Yes, sir.
No, you don't necessarily need to write that, but you need to know it in your head. All right? For the
Oh,
persons, yeah, for the persons who don't necessarily understand so much, you can write this and you can write what A is, what B is, what C is, and then you go from there. So A would be the coefficient of x squared, B would be the coefficient of x, C would be the constant. No, so you get 1 mark for this, right? AC. Then I get 1 next mark for this, factorization. And I get 1 next mark for this. Giving me the correct answer.
Are we supposed to tell you what AC is?
Yes,
Oh, all right,
yes.
sir.
As I said before, you get 1 mark for AC, right? You get 1 mark for factorization, you get 1 mark for this. Now, on the original exam, right? This question would have about 4 marks. Questions like these, 4 marks. You know why? Let me show you you get the 4 marks now. You see, if you clearly stipulated this equation here to show them it's a quadratic, 1 mark. The AC, a next mark. Factorization, 1 more mark. Answer, 1 next mark. Some questions might give you 1 mark for this x and 1 mark for the next x. But once you find one, you should find the next one. So that should be correct. So 3 marks for now. All right. So complete it. If you have any challenges, let me know. All right. Anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Now I'm showing you an example on the board here. So, we'll look at that and all right, hold on. So I'm showing an example on the board here. You could look at that and do your questions, all right? All right, so before anybody else go, right? Let me just give you a hint. So I got a question from us from somebody, but I'm going to give you a hint, all right? All right. Look at it now. Right? Everybody paying attention? Look at your first question. All right, your first question is saying y squared minus 7y plus 10 is equal to 0, right? I'm going to give you a hint. What is the AC there? Somebody please tell me.
10,
And what are the two numbers that when you multiply them, you get 10, and when you add them, you get negative 7?
-5 and -2.
Negative 5 and negative 2. If you multiply negative 5 times negative 2, you're going to get positive 10. And if you add two negatives, you're going to get negative 7. Remember, two negatives, when you multiply them, you get a positive value. But when you add them, you get a negative value. All right, that's the hint.